Welcome back. Warfare and death from eastern Ukraine to the Gaza Strip. Congressman Dan Crenshaw insists the outcome of both conflicts have the potential to impact U.S. security for decades to come. Stephen, with the exception of the border and to some degree China, international affairs have been on the back burner in the presidential race. Will this assault on Israel and the ongoing retaliation move to the forefront?
It will move to the forefront. The question is just how long will it be on the front page when it comes to the presidential debates and just the presidential race in general. You mentioned the border had been the biggest kind of hot topic for Republicans and Democrats now recently, criticizing President Biden's inaction. The difference here is Republican candidates, while they may find ways to criticize the Biden administration about actions as it pertains to the retaliation by Israel in providing resources, Israel is a topic that Democrats and Republicans support. And so I don't know if they'll be able to get as many zingers on this touchy topic, but it will consume the headlines for a bit.
All right, Rudy, the ripple effect of the massacre in Israel were almost immediate on the Texas political landscape, with this week's revelation that the president of the ultra-conservative Defend Texas Liberty PAC had met on multiple occasions with documented anti-Semitic white supremacist Nick Fuentes. House Speaker Dade Phelan pounced publicly, demanding that lawmakers, including adversary Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick, return millions in political donations from the controversial PAC. What do you make of Patrick's refusal to give the money back and his public demand that Phelan resign?
You know, Greg, there's 3 million reasons to give that money back, but it really doesn't come as any surprise to me based on how that impeachment trial went and what Patrick did during that. So I'm not surprised about that. But let's take a look at this. A lot of people right now are getting outed and exposed for who they really are. That's why outed is my word. Internationally, Hamas clearly revealing itself to be just another version of ISIS. And their supporters, you know, they can say resistance fighters as much as they want, but Hamas is a terror group. Now, here in Texas, a lot of people are outing themselves. Several House members and GOP party members continue, for some reason, to reaffirm their support for Attorney General who had an extramarital affair and admits to helping a political donor fight a bank fraud investigation by state and federal investigators. And then we learned about Nick Fuentes, a Nazi sympathizer, linking up with a powerful right-wing political action committee right here in the state of Texas, in Fort Worth of all places, that had, you know, that's a group that has given millions of dollars to Republican lawmakers, including Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick. And those politicians say they have no problem keeping the money. Right. State Representative Terry Wilson, a decorated combat veteran, a few days ago released a scathing assessment of the situation, noting how Fuentes has said he wants to destroy the GOP. Well, Greg, Wilson is calling for a state party investigation. But the state party, as you know, several county GOP committees, they're still firmly aligned with Paxton, calling for the resignation of Speaker Dade Phelan. And the Speaker this past Monday making a dire assessment, saying the Republican Party is at a pivotal moment in time and there needs to be some self-reflection across the state of Texas. I agree, Greg.
All right, Stephen, jump in here. With emotions raw over the mass killing in Israel, we learned that one of the biggest financial backers of both Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick and recently acquitted Attorney General Ken Paxton is consorting with known anti-Semites. Not a good look. You agree?
It's definitely not a good look. And to go back to what Rudy was talking about giving the money back, look, if the Lieutenant Governor is a good fundraiser, which he is, it should be no problem to give $3 million back. This is something, of course, Dade Phelan and others have pounced on, but if you really look at the heart of what we are talking about, it should have been like already very quick responses to, yes, I'm going to give this money back. Yes, I disavow all connections to this. And so it's not a good look, but the people who look at this every day like us see it one way, and the voters may see it a different way.
Quickly, Rudy, Crenshaw doubled down on his support for funding Ukraine. What do you think of his linkage of future dollars with security on the border? 15, 20 seconds.
Yeah, a good, solid argument, good, solid proposal. I think a lot of people here in Texas are perplexed that the Biden administration all in for protecting the Ukraine border, but not our own.
All right, that's all the time we have. To see this episode or past shows, go to our station's YouTube channels.
And keep the conversation going by hitting us up on social media.
And we will be back next week as this special session of the Texas legislature really starts heating up with debates on school choice, vaccine bans, and the border. And remember, let us know what you think the issue is.